My name is Marianne Kropp, and I taught grade 2 while Chris was at Chimney Hill. The one thing I remember about Chris while he was at Chimney Hill was how passionate you were to support everyone as best you can. You'd hang out with kids outside. You'd chat with them in the hallways, often with Lily. You'd share your love for building. You built birdhouses with the older kids. At Shirley and Kathy's retirement party, it was brought up that you were possibly hanging out with the kids so that you would avoid parents and wouldn't have to spend so much time in the office. But I know better. You supported parents dearly too. You'd invite them in when they had something to say. They wouldn't always get their wish. You would make decisions that were based on what was good for kids and what was good for teachers. I never once felt like you didn't have my back, and I want to thank you for that. I wish you a wonderful retirement. Now that you have time, you can build, you can spend time with your grandkids, maybe pick up another hobby. In any case, I know you'll share your time and your talents with others because that's just the kind of guy you are, giving of yourself for the good of others. And so thank you so much for your time that you spent here at Chimney Hill. I really enjoyed coming to work because you made it so wonderful. Have a wonderful retirement.
The one thing I will remember about Chris Baldry is that he built me this lovely iPad stand for my projector that I still use almost every day. Not only did he build me this stand, but he would come in periodically, a couple times a week, after he gave it to me and compliment his work on the stand. He would say things like, "Oh geez, that is a very solid iPad stand. I wonder who built that. Wow, gee, look at the design of that iPad stand. That is just phenomenal." Anyways, Chris, I think of you every day when I use this iPad stand, and I wish you the very best in retirement, and it was a pleasure working with you. Take care. Happy retirement, Chris.
What I will remember the most about your time at Chimney Hill, Chris, is all the different hats that you wore while you were here. Not only were you our principal, but you helped us create new things like the pedestal stands for our projector carts. You were our set designer and designing and building sets for our school plays. You were our animal ambassador, always bringing Lily in to visit us. And, basketball player and yes, sometimes exterminator too. One of the hats that you wore that I think I'll remember the most though is the supportive mentor that you were for our student teachers, including me. You made us feel so welcome. You were always there to support us, to observe us, and to listen to our ideas. And it was so amazing to feel that you saw value in our ideas, even though we were so new to the field. I know that I have you to thank for the job that I have, and I thank you in my heart every day that I walk through that door. I really wish you the best in your retirement. I hope you have a lot of time to spend with your family, to relax and slow down, but also to know that you are going to be very missed by the staff that you've worked with, the schools that you've worked at, and the students whose lives you have touched. Take care and enjoy your retirement.
Two things that we remember about Chris's time here at Chimney Hill are
his passionate involvement in sports, like cross country, and his giant megaphone.
and his awesome mumble with his eyes down greeting in the hallway. And wish for retirement.
Yes, we wish you all the best, a lot of relaxation, a lot of woodworking time, and a lot of time with your family.
Yes, I agree. And happiness and health always.
Boots check, tool belt check, hard hat check.
Well, Krish, you've done it. you're retired, finally, after hiring me 10 years ago, and I thought you were only going to last 2 years after you hired me. One thing I remember about you is having a library meeting in an undisclosed location I will not talk about, but lots of fun, and building all the sets in the Goggle Ball Court at Chimney Hill, and also I remember buying you that nice expensive bottle of Jameson. Hopefully you enjoyed it and you continue to buy that wine. A wish for you, my friend, is that I hope you continue to buy more expensive wine, and I hope we get together more often to share some expensive wine, because you know me, I like good wine too. All the best, buddy. We love you.
The one thing I will remember about Chris's time at Chimney Hill is how he sat so patiently at student council meetings, waiting and waiting for the kids to finally call upon him, sometimes 11th on their agenda. Chris, you always put kids first, and I know retirement won't change that. Bon voyage, mon ami.
Hi Chris, it's Jody. Just wanted to say that it's been an honor to have worked with you in the past. And just from day one, you've always taught and connected with everybody with such compassion and humility and mutual respect for all of your staff. So thank you for that. And thank you for making all of those connections with even the little kindergartens and not being afraid of them. Just wanted to wish you well in your retirement. You deserve it.
Sunny day, sweeping the clouds away.
Hi, Chris. I just wanted to remind you of the wonderful times that you used to come down to the kindergarten wing and read us a story with your little dog, Lily.
Chris, the story was great. It was about dogs. Stanley's party. But Chris, why such a long one with so many words? And by the time you got to the third page, the wiggles were in and the kids were all looking at your dog. Anyway, Chris, we've got this book still in our class and we still tried to get the kids to read it. It's just not going.
And a tip for retirement when you read with your grandchildren, Chris. Try to pick a book, maybe a picture book, or be a bit more dramatic when you read.
So we know how much you love this book. So we got you one. Maybe you can practice and read with a little bit more expression, but maybe you can skip a few pages or make up your own words so it goes a little quicker. We'll miss you. Happy retirement.
Happy retirement. We'll miss
But it was
you.
a wonderful memory, you coming in.
Thanks, Chris.
The one thing I will remember about Baldry's time here at Chimney Hill is letting Amber and I leave early to go to Game 7 of the Boston Bruins and Vancouver Canucks. And unfortunately they lost the next day, and as soon as I walked in the building there was a student wearing a Boston Bruins jersey, and you told me to wipe that scowl off my face. That's what I'll remember. And also the 2010 Olympics, you forgot to cut off the cable because we still have the bill. And my wish for you for retirement is to spend more time with your grandchildren. Bye.
Bye.
My favorite memory of Chris is learning that he was my husband's grade 5 teacher at Simon Cunningham in the early 80s, and then subsequently finding out that he gave my husband the name Rawhide because his name was Rawinder, and it stuck with him and it bothered him so much that he ended up transferring schools. My one wish for you for retirement is happiness and health and wonderful times with your family. Happy retirement.
One thing I'll remember about Chris is his wisdom and his gentle smile. And my advice for his retirement is keep dreaming, travel a lot, and visit Mexico.
The one thing I will always remember about Chris Baldry is that he dances like Elaine from Seinfeld. It's like one part going one way, one part going the other way. Sometimes there's this. Anyways, Chris, all kidding aside, for your retirement, I wish you time to take dance lessons.
One thing I remember about Chris is any time that we needed to talk to him,
He would make us follow him down the hallway, almost at a sprint.
but another thing, to be soppy, another thing I remember about is coaching with him at track and field and the passion he had for those kids and what he would try to bring out and trying to teach them to pass the baton properly. Good, we wish you lots of luck in your retirement. Enjoy your woodworking.
Hi, Chris. So many memories, so many stories, so much to share. And lucky for you, not enough online time to do it. Chris, I have to say, this retirement gig is certainly something that you've been waiting for. Secretly, we've had an ongoing wager as to when you were going to pull the plug. No one won, because we didn't think you'd ever stay this long. Well, when news of your retirement came out, the Chimney Hill staff gathered for a planning meeting. How could we not? You spent a great deal of time here, longer than most principals would spend at any school. We took that actually to mean that we were special. On that day, the library was full of your friends here, and it didn't take long before the room was engulfed in laughter, memories, and hey, remember when? I'm sure that your ears were burning. There are some pretty good stories that were shared on that day, that are shared every day, and many of them are shared here. But be warned, we have an arsenal of other stories that we're holding on to for another time and another place for when masks are not required and gatherings can happen. Chris, I have so many stories, and I know that makes you really nervous. I'm sorry, but I promised I would be good, and I'm going to be. I just can't promise that I'm going to keep this to one specific memory, but I'm going to work really hard to stitch together and embed many of my memories of you so that I can fulfill my Baldry retirement moment. Whittling down a memory of you that is important and is impactful was a task in itself. It was really hard to do, but I think I've done it. The most important thing that I will remember about you is that your impact on the system as a whole is actually world-renowned. And I mean that in the truest sense of the word, world-renowned. You are passionate about everything that you do. Your interest in the activities at school with kids in our classrooms, it was clear every single day. Your willingness to share your most prized possession, Lily, spoke volumes to the trust that you had in us as a staff. What other principal would allow a non-dog owner, that's me, look after his dog during job action and would allow lunchtime walks, complete with poop bags, in the neighborhood catchment? You would keep Lily secured in your office until I would arrive on Friday mornings, and then with a simple nod of your head, Lily would know that it was time to get up and lead me down the hall to my room. We'd start our day together with a sausage or 2 or 3 or 4. And that routine went on for years. It speaks volumes to your trust, your understanding of what was needed at the time, and your compassion. Teachers benefited from our 4-legged staff member, and so did our kids. You knew. I speak of your impact on the system and your passion with projects as being world-renowned. You do know that you're an international man of integrity and understanding, right? You know that. You're a model of lifelong learning. You came on a trip to Mexico as a senior admin one year. I believe I gave you the title of head chaperone, and you wore that hat well, for the most part. You had watched from afar for a number of years and decided to take the plunge with Air Canada and join us on a trip, on an adventure really, to Mexico City on an exchange. You quickly became part of the chaperone team, and to my surprise, you actually became the one that needed more supervision than most of the kids. Your thirst for the local culture consumed your time in Mexico, and it wasn't long before you were bestowed the title of Senor Chris by the children, the families, and the teachers of Jules Verne. It wasn't until the end of that particular trip that your impact on that adventure became truly evident. At the closing assembly, you stood up to say your thanks. And after working with you for a number of years, I thought I knew what to expect. I was used to your talking points, and I was half expecting a crumpled piece of duotang paper or maybe even a sticky note to stick in your hands. But this time it was different. You pulled out a black notebook and carefully opened it to a scribbled page with scribbled notes. And then you began to speak. Not in English, though. In Spanish. The crowd silenced. It may have gasped. I know I did. You gave your thanks in Spanish. It wasn't Don Juan Spanish, and in fact, it may have actually been Spanglish. But it was delivered in such a way that everyone, regardless of their first language, understood, embraced, and became humbled. Here you were, a principal from Canada, a visitor in a foreign land for only 7 days, and you were willing to put forth a speech of thanks in a language you didn't speak naturally. Guts, passion, understanding and authenticity, not to mention risk. Impressive, worthy. And I'm grateful to have been witness to that global moment. In that minute, the world felt a little bit smaller and maybe a little bit closer together. My wish for your retirement, like so many others, is to enjoy this next chapter. Do what you want, when you want, and do it with a Spanish flair. Because you know that the world is watching. Because you're on stage. Happy retirement, Chris.
When I think about my best memories with Chris Baldry, my favorite memories, immediately I just think of camp and all the times that we spent together. And there's this one incident in particular, especially relating to this. So every single time I see this, I think of Chris Baldry. It was one of our most memorable years at Camp Elphinstone, and every year we would bring water guns and have like an annual epic water fight with the kids. And this one year in particular, I guess word got out that this happened. The kids all brought water bottles. And I'm not even sure how this played out, but they ended up cornering us into a small cabin. So all the teachers are in the small cabin. We've got like 100 kids with water bottles waiting for us to emerge. We're outside the window getting them. And then at one point, Chris looks at me with a look I'd never seen before. And he said, "They've cut off our water supply. This isn't going to end well for us." And it was this realization that we were completely outnumbered and the kids had outsmarted us. And it was a look I hadn't seen before. So I would have to say that's one of my top Chris Baldry memories. But congratulations, Chris, on a very well-deserved retirement. Love ya.